Jurisprudence continues with Jesse J. Nelson at the center of it, which is concerning, but also has me very curious. And I can't wait for this trial to be over to find out what's going on.
Does it not make you wonder if maybe, and no offense to Jesse,
the system is broken?
I think we maybe need a new system. Is that something that we probably should start entertaining, or no?
Well, it's a great question. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video. Although we weren't on Twitter yesterday, so hopefully today we'll be on there, because I know a lot of you watch there. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free ESPN Wisconsin app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is not yet in the jury box, from what I know. But nevertheless, Riley Yauk is his cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Riley, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jason. Doing well, doing well.
Nice. Great reference to the old Kyle Wallace line. And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer, and he is concerned about our judicial system. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Riley, how are you? I want to make sure I get a good morning from Riley, too. I'm not. You just kind of pointed out Jason, not me. I'm a little bit hurt.
I introduced him. That's only why.
Yeah, good morning, Tausch.
Then I just did, too. Hey, that a baby, Riley.
Is this...
Yeah, no, I could say I'm concerned. I think we could probably be a little concerned. Jesse, so how does this work? You have your phone until you go in the jury box, so you can go wolf down. It sounds like great breakfast sandwiches, because Jesse has done more work producing the show when he's not on in a jury box than he did prior. He's texting us right now. It's 9 o'clock. Shouldn't they be going? Shouldn't they be getting this thing rolling so we can keep the wheels of justice moving?
Yeah, I don't know. Law and Order, they try to reach a plea bargain before they go to the jury verdict. I don't know the answer to that. I am, if you're concerned.
Just think about that word you just said, plea bargain. If you're pleading, are you really bargaining, or are you giving it up saying, oh, God, please help me?
No, you're bargaining because you could face 25 years in prison, but you get the bargain.
You're maneuvering.
It's a plea.
When you're bargaining.
I enter a plea. I plead
I'm not pleading
guilty.
With you. I'm bargaining. If I really want you to take if I want to get your hangers and I have an old pair of shoes, I'm not going to plead with you. Please, I'm going to bargain with you. Plead is, please take this.
All right, so
it doesn't make any sense.
I have really tried, because I know how much it irritates you, to not correct you lately. Because then you get mad at me. The other thing that you get mad at is if I'm trying to do other.
Don't say that. I like being corrected.
No,
if I'm wrong. No, I do. If I'm wrong.
Verbiage you don't like being corrected on. Words that don't mean what you think they mean. You're not a fan of that. You're also not a fan of if I'm trying to get the next read ready. I noticed this yesterday again, and you say something that I don't hear as part of what you're saying. You get very irritated and you say, yeah, I just said that. So I'm trying to avoid those incidents, okay? Plea has multiple definitions per Merriam-Webster. One is a request made in an urgent or emotional manner. I plea with you, please take my hangers.
Take my offer.
Yeah. Second, a formal statement by or on behalf of a defendant or prisoner stating guilt or innocence in response to a charge. So you plead guilty or not guilty, but then you are willing to plead guilty on reduced prison time. So if Jesse was convicted or was on the verge of being convicted, if he's not in the jury box, but he's on the at the defendant's table, and he's going to get 25 years, and Jack McCoy offers him 10, That is a plea. He would plead guilty and take the 10 years. So, please take my television and my hats that I don't want anymore a little bit different. To your point, where do you think Jesse is on the spectrum of quality jurors?
I would think he's actually going to be pretty good.
Right.
I think he'll be a good juror.
And that's why it makes me nervous about the system is if he's at like the high end of quality, if your life is dependent on these folks sorting through all the information and getting it right, if you're an innocent man, how do you like your chances?
I don't know. That I think is the problem. I don't know.
That's what
I don't know. I mean, it all comes down to jury selection and getting understanding of what Jesse's beliefs are and how he interprets laws compared to other people that interpret laws. I think there could be a freshening. I think we could do a freshening of the whole system. I think that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
All right, one more thing about Jesse's jury duty, since he still apparently is not in the jury
He is.
box.
I don't know if anybody – I know people want to fulfill their civic duty, but almost everybody I know scraps to get out of it, including you. I've never seen someone more excited to compete, to actually get in the jury box.
You're right. Mm-hmm. The picture of him with his prospective juror, it didn't have his name on it. It said prospective juror, but the name tag, he was giddy. Like he was. I don't know if he was waiting in line.
As excited as I've seen him.
Yeah, he might as well have been waiting in line for a roller coaster. He looked so happy.
The part I don't fully get, and what I'm going to be most interested in, it sounds like this thing should be wrapping up, and he is potentially going to be back on the show tomorrow. Lord knows if that's true.
How do you know
He probably
that?
will need a deep. That's what I was wondering too. He'll need a debrief day, and I'm sure he'll find his way out to the AmFam Championship because there's food and there's drink. What you can and can't talk about is going to be fascinating to me. I don't think jurors should do their job and be done. I don't think they should be doing an expose tell-all of what happened in that juror room. Do you sign an NDA when you go in there? There's a lot of questions. I'm actually more intrigued by the actual process of what it looks like and how much you can report when you're done. So that's the part. The case itself, Lord knows what this might be. What do you think this case is? I think it's an armed robbery. That's what I think he's dealing with.
And what are you basing that theory on?
Guess, just a guess. All guess. It's not murder. If it was murder, it'd be you'd hear a lot more about it.
Yeah.
I think it's theft or robbery of some sort.
Okay,
would be my guess.
Okay. I think it is a fraud case. Somebody was cashing checks like Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can, and they were brought to justice by the Madison Police Department.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
Riley, what's your let's make these predictions, and if you want, throw it up on the YouTube channel. Give us your predictions, and hopefully Jesse will be able to tell us what the answer is. Riley, what do you think Jesse's court case is going to be about?
Public indecency.
Ooh.
No, we're not asking what Jesse was guilty of. We're asking what he's adjudicating.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
That's a good one.
Thank you very much.
That's good.
All right. Well, we will wait for updates. He has gone in. Heading in now. See you on the other side. No phones during deliberation.
Three sandwiches later. It sounds like they made a great breakfast sandwich for Jesse this morning. So kudos to Jesse.
No phones during deliberation. So have Riley ready just in case you don't hear from me before 9 a.m. tomorrow. So he's anticipating deliberations today, but he may not make it to work tomorrow, even if they reach a verdict, apparently.
Is there any chance he's going to be the contrarian? Like, if I'm on a jury, I am 100% going to be the contrarian.
Yeah,
I will
I
be
agree
a contrarian.
with that. Mm-hmm.
And it's not because I want to make sure we flush out all of the angles.
So devil's
I've watched
advocates.
enough jury movies.
Yeah.
No, it's not even that. I just don't want to. Nothing has ever cut and dried. Like, at some point you can get there, but if we're at 11-0 and we're voting, I probably am going to look at it and say, I kind of want to get more info. Now, that doesn't mean I want to drag it out 4 days, but I would probably be considered a contrarian when it comes to that.
Sure. But you would still do the right thing.
100%.
So
in my mind, I would do the right thing.
I have no doubt about that. So we will eagerly await updates from the Dane County Courthouse. It is it's interesting. I can't wait to hear about all the things he goes through, and hopefully he will be tell us all about it tomorrow. I'm really curious, though, what the crime is.
Yeah, there's a lot of – this will be the great thing about this. Jesse missed 3 days, which is fine.
So far.
Everybody's got stuff going on. If he gets us a day of content out of it, I'll be more than I think we'll all be more than okay with what happened. And I'm guessing he'll be done by 10 o'clock today, and he'll still take off until Friday. That would be my guess as far as how this deliberation goes.
Yeah, again, I don't know how the deliberations work, but I'm very curious to hear. You can't take notes, right? Like, if you're in – like, I feel like I would – can you?
Well,
like, if I'm in the jury
Have you ever
box.
watched it? You have to.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah, you take notes. Well, what else are you even there for? What do you think? You're just hanging out? You're trying to figure it out.
As there's like, again, I'm gonna have to check.
Have you ever watched Matlock? Matlock, they always.
You're right.
Notes.
You're right, Tausch, because the accurate representation of an actual jury proceeding is depicted by Matlock or Law and Order.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It might be the most impressive record. There's the 72 Dolphins. You got Golden State went 73-9. Bulls were 70 whatever and whatever.
72-10.
The most impressive record of all time is Matlock.
What about Perry Mason? Did he ever lose a case?
No. Matlock went. Didn't Matlock go undefeated? Did he never lose, or is that Perry Mason?
I think it's Perry Mason, but I don't have the statistics on me.
According to Google AI, it is up to the judge whether or not a jury can take notes. It is up to their discretion.
Why could you not take notes? What would be the harm in taking notes?
Because they want them to pay attention to the proceedings. They say it can't be a substitute for the official record because you get like a packet of notes.
Okay.
So
I would need to take notes to keep things straight.
I want to be able to take notes if I want to.
Yep, I would agree. Well,
I would probably defy the judge's orders if he didn't.
I don't think you can do that. You end up being held in contempt, and then you're being tried.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation, no doubt.
Well, it's a good thing Jesse was selected and not you. All right. Well, we look forward to Jesse's stories whenever he's available. We will continue to poke fun at him in the meantime. Speaking of being poked fun of, Matt LaFleur and I had our part 2 of Physical Specimen yesterday, which I really enjoyed. We'll play that for you, and then we'll get into the meat of yesterday's OTAs. Lots of stuff going on. Shameless plug for channel3000.com. No paywall, so it's free to read. That's why Tausch reads it more often now. Actually, you had a subscription. I shouldn't say that. We've got Keshan Nixon changing his tune on returning kicks, although it might have just been because he got yelled at for what he said. Yeah. We've got Zack Tom, who did not consider skipping OTAs, waiting for his new contract. Maybe that's because they announced that he was competing for his job, even though no one else has taken a rep, from what I've seen, at right tackle with the ones. Anthony Belton's gotten some 2 reps, but none with the ones. And then Kenny Clark, who did not have his best season last year, revealing that he underwent surgery in January for a toe injury that he suffered in the opener. So if we're going to say that the quarterback gets grace for his injuries, do we now need to look at Kenny Clark's season through a different lens? We'll talk about all those things, but not until we've talked about Gina Della and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Yeah, indeed. Is it time to upgrade your windows and doors, but you don't want to spend a fortune? I would say it's a great time to do it the month of June. Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every budget, and now, right now, you get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. So if the plan is to wait, guess what? You can get it now, and you can wait to start making payments for up to 2 years later. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends on June 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
This will be our second straight day of a reference to our human resources czar. She's awesome at what she does, Lisa Putterman. Pipe Jim with a private talk and text line message.
She has to be a golfer, right? She has
Putterman?
to golf.
I will have to. Maybe we should have her on as a guest. I bet she'd be a good guest, too. Good question.
If she can open up and tell all the stories, yeah. If she can't, I don't know. I think that's got to be one of those confidential jobs. I think there's HR benefits consultant privacy laws. Does Jesse have to use vacation days to do this? Is Pipe Jim's question. No, you don't.
Are you sure, nope. Lisa?
Positive. Yep.
Okay. You have not served on a jury yourself, though, so you don't.
I have not. No.
Okay, just to be clear. All right, I want to get into.
What would happen if Jordan Love got called? What would happen if Jordan Love got called for jury duty and got selected on Thursday before the Lions game?
Got to do his civic duty.
I would think he would reschedule it. They would be. They would work around his schedule.
But let's say that happened 3 times. I think you only get 3. You get 3 reschedules.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to hope he didn't get called in like I did. Not get called in when I finally used up my.
How has that never happened?
How's what never happened? A player being. I feel like
player, an NBA guy.
I feel like
a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah,
when has it?
Well, I'll have to research that. I don't have that in my mental Rolodex. I will get some information for you, Mr. Tauscher, and we'll talk about that. Can you
imagine that? Hey, guys, Penny Sewell, we need you on jury duty. You can't play in that opener. Tough luck. Especially if it's a Thursday night game. Then you're really pushing it. Could be something.
Penny Sewell. We're having a Sewell conversation. It's Wilde And Tausch.
This is Wilde And Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Memorial Day savings are here at Brothers Maine. Shop unbeatable deals on top brands like GE Appliances, Cafe, Hotpoint, and Monogram. Plus, enjoy expert support and free local delivery. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams, like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards, like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Let's make tonight the weekend. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. Got no reason not to celebrate. Baby, I just don't wanna wait. Tonight's the weekend. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. Got no reason not to celebrate. Baby,
All right, let's take one call. I do not want to turn this into stories of jury duty day because there was a lot that went on yesterday, and many of you come here for Packers coverage, not coverage of the legal system. But let's go to Don in Sun Prairie and get his jury duty story. Don, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm fine, guys. I just want to let you know that it's not as easy to get out of jury duty as you would think either.
I know.
You're assigned to a pool, and then once you get called for an actual case, then they ask you the questions of whether or not you would have any issues being a juror. And even if you would say, yes, I'm prejudiced for whatever reason, they dismiss you from that case, but they reassign you back down to the pool, so you will eventually get called for another case.
And if I just keep saying I believe, if I just keep saying I believe in guilty until proven innocent, they're just going to throw a contempt charge at me.
Exactly. It's up to the judge's discretion to say that's not a valid enough excuse, sir. And then if you keep on countermining him, he will definitely throw the contempt at you.
Do you know this from firsthand experience?
No. I have not been throwing a contempt charge at me, but I've been on jury. I was on jury duty for a week, and I went every day, and they had 13 of us because they have an alternate. Just in
13
case somebody
angry
gets
men.
Or whatever. 13 angry men, correct, and women. And I was there all week paying attention, unlike some of the other jurors who were falling asleep and not paying attention. And when it came time to actually go to the room and to do the deciding, I was dismissed because there were 13 jurors and one had to be dismissed because they only needed 12. And we all are assigned a number in the jury box, and the judge just randomly picked a number, and he looked right up at me and said, "Mr. Keller, thank you, but we will no longer be needing your services."
So you spent the whole week on the trial? You didn't even get to vote?
Exactly. And he asked me to meet him in his chambers afterwards, after I went to the jury room and got all my personal belongings and stuff. And then he thanked me for my service. He asked me if there was anything he could do for me, that I was very attentive, that I was keeping notes, that I was on time. And I said, well, I'm kind of curious because I've been here all week and I like to know how it ends. He gave me his phone number. He says, I will call you when the jury comes in with a verdict to let you know how they decided. And then when I left, both of the attorneys chased me down to try to get me what my ideas were of how I would have voted.
Ooh, smart. Did you take those questions?
Yes, I did. I did from the one. The other one didn't have enough time. They were going to meet somebody for lunch, so they decided just to.
Lunch takes precedence.
Lunch is pretty important.
Right.
So what was the case?
Jason, the whole week.
So what was
Go
the
ahead.
case? What was the crime? And was that person
once you got
convicted, or-
dismissed? Could you have went to Channel 3000 or came on Wilde and Tausch? Could you have discussed everything that was going on? Is there any restrictions?
Oh, good question.
No, during it, yes, you could not speak about it during the actual proceedings at all. Once I was dismissed, then I was able to speak my mind and say whatever I wanted to anybody.
And even if the case had not been done because you got dismissed, they kept deliberating, or you got dismissed after the deliberation? I
got dismissed before they did deliberations. They were going to deliberations.
You broke some
big
time news.
Yeah. Was it a high-profile case? What did the person do?
It was
allegedly do?
It was a lawsuit between the insurance companies, basically.
No wonder people were sleeping.
Exactly. He had his own property, and he had an off-road vehicle, and there was another kids that were on motorcycles, and there was an accident between him and his off-road vehicle and the motorcycle, and they had to decide who was more at fault.
Well, I hope Jesse's case is more interesting.
It sounds boring. It sounds boring, but it was very interesting. As far as the forensic evidence.
Oh, the CSI crew was there?
Yeah.
No, I was just going to ask you, Don. Did the case go the way you thought you were going to vote?
No, it did not.
Wow.
It did not.
Whoa.
So I would have been the thorn in their side, Tausch, just like you would have been. They would have all went one way, and I would have been going the other.
Oh boy.
That's why the lawyers wanted to know what my mind was. The lawyers wanted to know which
Probably
way
why
I would
you
have
got
went.
drummed out of there. Probably why they threw you out of there.
No,
Have this man
just,
removed.
It was just a matter of 13 jurors, and they only needed 12. It's just random luck.
Not everything's random, Don. Not everything's random.
Well, Don, we
interesting.
I was just going to say, everybody was congratulating me for being let go, and I was disappointed because I actually wanted to see the whole thing through since I'd been there all week.
You put all that time in.
No wonder you and Jesse get along so well. All right, Don, we appreciate the story, buddy. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Wow. The wheels of justice. Inside story from Don and Sun Prairie.
Took notes. Had it all figured out.
And
Would have
got drummed
voted the
out.
other way. Yeah.
That's what you get. Hey, we're only 2 days away from being together on Friday at the AmFam Championship at its brand spanking new location.
Yeah, I was out there Monday, and it looks fantastic. Steve Stricker hosts the AmFam Championship. And like Jason said, 2 new changes. The new course, TPC Wisconsin, over on the east side of Madison. The AmFam Champ also debuts a new team competition this year. 2-person teams will compete in best ball and scramble formats. The American Family Insurance Championship is June 6th through the 8th. We at Wilde and Tausch will be out there. Jesse, we don't know. Jason and I will be there. Get details and ticket information at amfamchampionship.com.
We will talk about our conversation with Matt LaFleur from yesterday and all the stories that came out of OTAs. We don't have Brian Balaga today, so if you've been waiting for him, he is going to join us tomorrow. He had a conflict today. So he will join us tomorrow. We'll talk about OTAs next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Cincinnati Reds.
Fly ball, left center field. This is well struck. Way back there. It is gone.
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on June 17th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in June 17th at 7:05 on WISC TV in Madison, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Play where the Badgers play and enjoy a round at University Ridge Golf Course, the official course of the University of Wisconsin. It's easy to see why University Ridge is consistently rated one of the best public courses in Wisconsin, winning awards every year since 1992. Whether it's a tournament, corporate event, or just a golf outing with family and friends, University Ridge Golf Course will make sure you have an enjoyable golf experience from start to finish. Book your tee time today at universityridge.com. That's universityridge.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
The Indiana Pacers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. The finals. Coverage of Game 1 begins Thursday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed.
There was a time on this show when we would not have discussed this because I don't want to make it about me. Plus, I don't know if everyone always understands the dynamic. But this was funny. And it was at my expense again. And if you want to take this as Matt LaFleur hates me, go right ahead. If you'd like to believe me when I say that's not true, great. But if you remember last week, when Matt LaFleur was dodging questions about how much more production and how much more productive he needs his quarterback to be for his team to get to where it wants to go this season, he mentioned that, when you have injuries, those are tough to overcome unless you're a physical specimen like yourself, to me. Well, I had the opportunity to circle back to that yesterday because I wanted to know something about Zack Tom. And the exchange went like this.
You want everybody here this time of the year and understanding that it is voluntary. And, yeah, that means a lot. I know for me it means a lot to me.
This time last year, he was part of the peck epidemic that you guys had going on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't. You're a physical specimen like me. When you look at what he's been
I look a hell of a lot better than you. Let's set the record straight.
Oh, nice.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So
no,
if you remember, no,
boy, there was nothing jokey or anything about that. And if we're being fair, he's 100% right. Yes,
obviously.
Yeah.
Like I can wear that. I'm fine with that. Matt LaFleur is a much more physical specimen than me. Totally agree.
No doubt.
Okay, you don't have to be that enthusiastic.
Well, no, you're 100% right. I think that was one of those. He had kind of let it sit. He's like, "Do I do it? Yeah, blanket. I'm going to just throw it out."
And you could see it last week when he did it. He was itching to zing me, and he was trying to figure out where to fit it in. If you watch the video,
yeah, you were itching. You were the antagonist here. You antagonized.
No doubt about it. Well, don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about. You, Matt LaFleur, Zack Tom, and Tucker Kraft all tore their pectorals last offseason.
Popping a peck, yep.
The same guy at the hospital for special surgery in New York did all three of the repairs. I wrote a story about how much business these guys were giving that specific doctor. So
sure.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is that true? It is true that he's more physical specimen than me.
I look a hell of a lot better than you. Let's set the record straight.
A lot of laughs, and I think real laughs.
Those were genuine,
from
too.
your colleagues.
Yeah, exactly. So I enjoyed that. But unlike last week, when our back and forth, then I was not as humorful. I was humorless about it last week because I wanted to answer the damn question, which is, how much better does Jordan Love have to play for you to be the team you want to be? And that's when he went into, well, of course he's going to have less production. He played in 3 fewer games and all the other stuff. Because he didn't want to, as you pointed out, he did not want to put added pressure on his quarterback, which I respect. I get it. This was a little bit different. Okay. Because the Zack Tom situation is a very interesting one. Matt Schneidman from The Athletic was taking the angle of he could have skipped the OTAs and waited for a contract extension. I took the angle of, you told this guy that he's competing for his job. I've been to 2 practices. No one else has taken a single rep at right tackle. So what's the deal, right?
What's the deal with that?
So I just wanted a clear answer on where Zack Tom is at, because he called him the right tackle. He was talking about his versatility and that he just sort of landed a right tackle, but I wanted an answer to where Zack Tom stands. So I followed up after our little fun exchange with this.
Yeah, I think that's a plan, absolutely. That's where he's kind of found his home, but I think what's great about him is if you do have something that happens, it just gives you some flexibility up front, and we're always looking for guys like that, and I think our guys do a really good job not only from a scouting department, finding players that have that versatility, but also I think our coaches do a pretty good job of cross-training those guys so that they can go in there and play. And I think as a whole, I think Zach's in a lot better space physically than he was a year ago. I mean, it's tough when you're rehabbing to get stronger and faster and in better shape. It's another thing to be out there and you're practicing and doing all the drill work, and you can really focus in the weight room at making those gains. So I think as a whole, though, I think our football team is in a much better spot than we were a year ago as well.
So he's talking about right tackle being the place where he's found a home. I don't think they're going to keep up this charade, Tausch. You called it out when I told you about it last week or a couple weeks ago when Steno said it. I think this is put to bed in my mind. He's not going anywhere. I still don't understand why they said it the way they did, other than to make sure that they were playing a little bit of hardball with his contract negotiation. That's the only possibility I can think of.
Yeah, that is what I kind of thought in the beginning of it, because to me, I think where some other reporters maybe are looking at this from a contract holdout, I'm sure Zack Tom's representatives have had these conversations with Russ that they want a new deal. And by the way, the Packers should want to have a new deal with him.
Yes, agreed.
You just saw what, when J.J. Watt was on McAfee talking about T.J. Watt, the Packers, for as much as they now kind of kick the can down the road and are a lot more stringent on giving out even second deals. And your quote that you kept coming back to about Goody is fascinating, and I think something you should look at. Zack Tom is one of your core players. You identify a core player early. You sign them long-term, Elton Jenkins. You can go through a list of guys that they've done this with already, and you get them at a better rate, and you keep them happy, and that's how you build that teamsmanship, that we're in this together. When you're forcing guys to consistently prove it, and there's no risk on the table for them, there becomes some semblance of resentment. And I don't know what's going to happen here. If Zack Tom doesn't get a new deal, what do you think will happen next year? Do you think he's going to say, well, I just love it in Green Bay, and I'm going to play here for less, and I just love being here? Or is he going to look at it as being a mercenary?
Right.
That's kind of where this goes. And Green Bay has every right to play it out, and they can franchise tag him, and they can do that. Or you could look at it and say, I think he's a really good player. I want him on this team for a long time. And if you sign him now, you'll sign him for a lot less than you will next year at this time, unless obviously something bad happens, and that's the risk that the player takes. But Zack Tom, that was never – and maybe I'll be proven wrong and he's going to be the swing tackle and Anthony Belton or somebody else is going to be playing right tackle and he's going to be starting somewhere. Now, if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, and I'm fine with that. I like debating things. You could look at this and say, well, I remember when Rob Domofsky was on Wilde And Tausch last summer. And I think he talked to somebody, whether it was over a Coors Light or a Tito's
couple
or
of
something.
People. He said 2 people said this to him.
He did. He said that they believe Zack Tom could be an all-pro center.
No.
They even said
Hall of Fame center.
Which is bold. That's very bold.
Much more bold than what he would say. But when you hear
that and you start piecing together why certain conversation topics come up, because let's be honest, this was something that didn't need to ever be brought up. Nobody would have asked you, is Zack Tom in a right tackle battle? Because nobody would have thought it. Steno brought it up.
Correct.
So if you want to conspiracy theorize it, we're not going to do anything with Elton Jenkins. If Elton Jenkins wants to play hardball with us, hey, Zach, swing on down. Sheed goes over to right tackle. Jordan Morgan goes to left tackle, and we figure it out. That would be the other option that you could look at. Is it the best option? It is not. Is it something that I'm sure Green Bay, when they're kind of mixing their puzzle pieces together, are saying, well, if this is how it's going to go, this is an option? Because those conversations happen all the time.
And we don't know what the future holds for Elton Jenkins. He is still not attending the voluntary portion of the off-season program. Will he report to the mandatory minicamp? I would think so, right? He doesn't want to get fined. I'm just here so I don't get fined. But if he doesn't get anything straightened out on his contract, he could play next year, this season, 2025, and then they could decide, we're not going to give him a third contract, and he's got a $26 million cap number for 2026 or whatever it is. Thank you for your service. You could always move Zack Tom to center then, and then you could play Anthony Belton at right tackle. So maybe Zack Tom would also like a contract extension before he gets moved, and we discussed this earlier in the week, to the lowest paying position on the offensive line despite its importance. Like, it just feels like there's a lot of moving pieces there on the offensive line, both now in real time with, and we talked to Zach about this as well, he said Rasheed Walker and Sean Ryan are two of his best friends in the world. And all three of them are in their contract years. And they know that not all three of them are getting re-signed. So they're taking the approach of, hey, this is our last dance, if you will, together.
Oh,
so,
I love The Last Dance. What a great show. Man, Rodgers and Devontae had one. Jordan and the boys from the Bulls had one. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see how things shake out not only this year, but then moving forward, because it does feel like one of the strengths over the years, going back to your era and even before that, is that, yeah, there were seasons where guys got hurt. Like you and Cliffy in 2002 and Flanagan having to go out and play left tackle and everything else. But one of the strengths of Green Bay Packers football had always been such a consistency on the offensive line. And yes, guys came and went, but you kept groups together for extended periods. And I'm curious to see if that's still a priority or not.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Kent Korth on YT put
YouTube.
Up on the Carbless Talk and text line beautifully by Riley is, why did the Packers pay Aaron Banks so much money? This isn't even somebody Goody drafted. This is a great point. And this is something every locker room has to deal with, and why Ted and I believe a lot of general managers are very skeptical to do this a bunch is because this sends waves through your locker room. Mm-hmm. And I saw it with Joe Johnson back in the early 2000s. You could see there was some angst amongst other defensive linemen. I'm not going to get into whose names that might be, but you could take a vacation and probably figure that part of it out. I just look at and you say, when you do that, you're setting the bar and saying, first off, we need to improve this spot. And wow, are we going to pay big money to do it? And then Elton Jenkins is looking at saying, I don't have any guaranteed money left. You could sprinkle me something. And they're saying, well, no, we want to play it out. There does become, and you don't want to have a room with resentment. Guys are going to be pros. But it goes back to my thought on who do you want to partner with? Who do you want to show that we're in this thing together? This isn't, you need to do. Let's work together and do it. And that, to me, Zack Tom is the guy that they need to do that with. Mm-hmm. And if you want to continue to, battle it out and let guys play 4 years and let them go, a la Runyon and what I believe will probably happen with Sean Ryan, that's part of the deal. It's not ideal, but it is part of the deal. When you bring a Banks in, like our guy Corthy just said on YouTube, it sends ripples through your ecosphere, and you have to understand that, and that's why I believe most general managers don't love doing it, because it creates hard feelings on the other side of it.
Right, and again, I do think it's important because the reason why you pay Aaron Banks is because you missed on Josh Myers, right? You got 4 years out of him, but he was not worthy of an extension, so you don't keep him at center, right? So you sign
you could have got it back for You could have got it back for $2 million and kept everybody the same.
It's true. The reason why
But what does that tell you? What does it tell you?
That they needed to, that he believed they needed to upgrade in a big way.
Urgency, and when everybody was, ranting about, we're not urgent enough, the easy, cost-effective way would have been to just stand pat.
Yep.
So that's why it bothers me when people get on here and say, well, there's no urgency and there's none of this. You just paid a guy $19 million a year. You don't think that's urgent? When you could have just ran it back and paid a guy you'd have paid Josh Myers $2 million to start at center this year. That's what the price tag, I believe, ended up being. $2.5 million. And it tells you, hey, what we're doing ain't good enough. That to me takes a heck of a lot more urgency than what a lot of other people are asking for.
Well, if your urgency is to get down to Hard Rock Casino Rockford to see not Chris Rock, he's not playing there, but Kevin Hart is playing there down the road. Terry Bradshaw is going to be there.
Terry Bradshaw. Oh, my gosh.
And we're going to be there, not the same day as Terry Bradshaw, but we will be there in a little over 2 weeks. We'll be there, and you can be there too and see us.
Yeah, and the new Hard Rock Casino Rockford features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, including more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a sports book that I believe our old producer, the guy that's on jury duty, has done pretty well with. And they got a rock shop, and if you're hungry, guests can enjoy diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Cafe. You got the Council Oak Steak and Seafood, bricked Italian kitchen, and I want to try the UU Noodle Bar. Hard Rock Casino, it is a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
We'll continue our conversation about OTAs next. It's Wilde And Tausch.
This is Wilde And Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. A heated rematch, Wisconsin-BYU squaring off November 21st, a grudge match of last season's adrenaline-filled round of 32 showdown. The face-off happening in Salt Lake City at the Delta Center, home of the Utah Jazz. Greg Gard calling that last meeting, quote, one of the best in the NCAA tournament. 2 games for Bucky on NBA courts next season. They'll face Oklahoma at Fiserv Forum for an October 24th exhibition. 2 great tests for Gard and the Badgers well before Big Ten play. Ticket info and more available at uwbadgers.com.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on two wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
When you tell me I'm a wreck, you say that I'm a mess. How could you expect anything less? You latched onto me, then cried how strong you alone. I told you when you asked, I knew this wouldn't last. At least I could be honest.
So we talked to Matt LaFleur about Zack Tom, and then we talked to Zack Tom. And I thought Zach was.
So, Jason, did you get any indications from Matt LaFleur that Zack Tom is not the starting right tackle?
No, zero, none.
Okay. So what are we doing here then? What were we doing 2 weeks ago? Like, why did Steno say?
I don't know. I don't know. And I asked.
Did you ask? Did you follow up with LaFleur and say, "Well, your offensive coordinator said that it's an open competition. Would you agree with him on that?"
I did not. No, it's. I'm not.
Good follow-up. I know you love follow-ups.
I do. And if the press conferences went in a more traditional conversational manner, I would think I would do better on follow-ups. But we have a few folks that, and I'm not good at this. Hand up, 100% true. They time up their questions. That, like, literally
like
the last...
Kind of like Jeopardy.
Yeah, like hitting the buzzer. Exactly. The last syllable is coming out of LaFleur's mouth, and they are starting the first syllable of their question. I take a beat.
There's got to be a more fun way that the Packers PR people could do this. Like,
you don't
do like a trivia contest.
You don't have to improve everything.
Wilde gets 2, and none of that.
No, yeah, we're good. I'm okay with that.
It doesn't sound like it. Sounds like you're being very critical of the process.
I don't think so at all. I'm just saying that's not how I operate. I'm not good at it, but I get answers when I need them.
Why don't you get better at it? Lord knows you deal with me. You got to jump in with syllables. Don't just sit here. You sound like somebody just giving in. Oh God, I just ain't good at that, so I can't get my follow-ups. Well, get better at it. Hey, Jordan Love, your completion percentage ain't good enough. Oh, shucks. Well, that's just kind of how it is. I don't think I can get any better at it.
I had 33 drops, and I was dealing with injuries.
So instead of pouting about it, why don't you get better? Practice. Have Sid and Madison sit there and have Paula be Matt LaFleur and have her do a transcript and jump in and beat Domofsky to the punch. Start practicing. Right?
So I asked Zack Tom how he's handling the...
I hate when you do that. I don't like when you don't acknowledge what I just said. You know it's good. You know what I said is good.
Yes, I'm sure the digital content of me practicing, like Rocky Balboa, getting ready to fight Clubber Lang. Me and all I need is my Apollo Creed helping me in the process.
So who is the great syllable timer? Can you go pick their brain and say, how do you do that? You know, like when young players come in and they ask old players, how'd you last so long? Or how do you Devontae Adams and Puka Nakua, they're having a great time teaching each other different things out there in L.A. Who is this young man or woman, and can you study what they do?
So I asked Zack Tom how he's handling the idea of competing, air quotes, for his starting job.
You're so annoying.
And here is how Zack answered the question.
So when we talked to Steno a couple weeks ago, I mean, he did say the right tackle was a competition. I don't know. I don't expect you to read the crap we write, but I'm sure you were aware that at least that was said. You don't strike me as someone who needs a fire lit under your ass. So how did you take that, and how are you approaching it in the aftermath?
Stop rolling your eyes over there.
I mean, it's the NFL, so you're always competing. In my career, I've never had anything handed to me. You know, I'm obviously a little undersized maybe, so, you know, I've had to work for everything I got. So it's always competition, so I'm not too concerned about it, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, I mean, it's the NFL, so you always have to go out there and earn your position every day.
A Tauscher-esque response. Like
really good answer.
If he had asked you, Tausch, what should I say when Wilde tells me that I don't seem like the kind of guy that needs a fire lit under his ass, if you would have given him an answer, it would have sounded a hell of a lot like that.
He answered it exactly the way he's supposed to.
He did.
He's a pro, man.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting
kind
here
of guy
glazing.
you might want to pay.
I ain't going to glaze Zack Tom, but I'm going to tell you, he just gets it. I think he understands it. He says the right thing. He does the right thing. He's a good football player. Mm-hmm. He needs to be a core player for this football team for a long time. And he will be. And that's why all this other stuff, I still – that's where I was giving you grief and you didn't like it, and then you kind of just moved on. But having some understanding of what the motivation for that is would be entertaining and interesting to me as a loyal reader and listener to you. That would be. So, I would be intrigued to find that out.
Right. So here's the deal. So I don't.
Why were you whispering so much? Hey Zach.
Because it's a weird setup.
Hey,
there's multiple press conferences going on in the same room.
Hey Zach, did you hear about?
Don't ask the question if you just want to keep doing your whispering shtick.
I wrote a really piece of crap that nobody should read. What are you doing? Build yourself up. Why are you tearing yourself down?
Could you stop analyzing me today?
I think Tausch is asking
I'm an analyst. That's my job. I'm an analyst.
I didn't realize you were a Jason Wilde analyst. I thought you were a Badger
Isn't it funny?
Analyst.
Whoa. Isn't it funny when the journalists that analyze players all the time get analyzed and they no likey? Oh, they no likey when analyze themselves, do they? Oh, no, you can't analyze me, but I will make a living analyzing you. Come on now, Jason. Hey.
All right, first of all, but don't ask the question. How's this for a louder voice? There's two. We're in a small room, and we're doing dueling press conferences at once. In fact, in the answer that you hear, in the answer you hear from Zack Tom, there is a laugh, a collective laugh that you hear. It's from the other interview. It's a bad setup. I want to get back in the locker room. Okay, I endured COVID. I want to get back in the locker room talking to guys the way I like to talk to them. So that is why I was keeping my voice down. Secondly, I thought self-deprecating about the crap that we write would be the better way to go than to say, hey, have you checked out channel3000.com? It doesn't have a paywall. It's my new place I'm writing, and I am freaking awesome. You should be reading every word I write, including how stupid it is to suggest that you're competing for your job. But I didn't do that.
I'm not going to lie. Jason, you're not going to like this answer, but if I'm Zack Tom, I'm like, dang, he's confident. And by the way, he's 100% right. This is maybe, that might be the case. Now, I'm all, self-deprecation's fun. Don't get me wrong. But you're burying yourself, and you're doing it in a whispery voice.
Hey, can you tell us about UW Credit Union so we can move on, please?
Some weird ASMR going on right now.
I don't know what ASMR is, but don't.
Nobody does.
Just talk.
Jason's been a member at UW Credit Union for a long time.
That's
and
not
for
what
every
UW
stage
Credit
of life,
Union was. Right there, that's for sure.
If I may, for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you, whether you're competing for a starting spot on the Badgers football team, the Packers football team, or you're hosting a radio show with someone that does great writing as well. They're proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They'll help you reach your financial goals. And people ask me, why did you join UW Credit Union, Old T? Well, I wanted to keep my banking local. I love their member-first service, and I love great perks like early payday. But honestly, I love Bucky. Can't say no to that little rascal. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom will make you do crazy things. But this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
The 10 o'clock hour starts late because I was whispering to Zack Tom, but not as late as it would if Brian Bulaga was on the show today. It starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde And Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. It was a fantastic run for the Crew, but unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, as last night their 8-game win streak was snapped by the Cincinnati Reds in a 4-2 loss. Jake Bowers had a game-tying home run, brought back a robbery to end the game, but the Brewers can still win the series today. First pitch is scheduled for 11:40 Central Time, with coverage beginning at 11 right here on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. You can listen to the rest of Wilde And Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, or tune into the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, which will be live through the show's conclusion at noon. Packers OTAs continue to roll on from Green Bay as well, and we haven't heard yet from Keshan Nixon. May get to him on Wilde And Tausch next.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde And Tausch. In the aftermath of yesterday's open to the media, but not to fans, OTA practice.
I like when you roll your eyes in a little skepticism.
Yeah, I got a lot of skepticism.
When you get your sit down with Ed, that'll be a good question for Ed, because I think that could be something that.
Yeah, I think that's coming. So, it would be great if you could put together a list of questions you'd like me to ask him.
Sure.
Please do that seriously, because I think that's coming around the corner. I heard Riley Yauk's ESPN Madison Sports Center. So he promised might be strong, but predicted we would talk about Keshan Nixon this hour, and we will. But I wanted to get back briefly and put a bow on the Zack Tom conversation because our buddy Josh DiMaggio, I thought, summed it up pretty well. If the Packers don't want to pay Zack Tom, who do they want to pay? A fourth-round pick who's getting all-pro votes seems like the literal idea behind draft and develop. Also, I don't know anybody who has more typos in their texts than Josh DiMaggio.
Oh, he's got a lot of stuff going on. He's got to cover for Jesse.
Roughly translate as you're reading it, yeah.
We got the Brewers coming on in Madison, so he'll have to get ready for Whoa Joshi, I think. I don't know how that works. There is a new robotics story that's in your old publication that I saw today that was fascinating. So there's a lot of stuff that Joshy's got going on. But his point on Zach is 100% accurate. Now, if you don't think he can play, and that's when we heard those competition reports and everything else, again, not really fully comprehending what that motivation would be other than you're pushing competition. But you didn't say that with Banksy.
Correct.
And you probably didn't say that with Elton.
Say it with Elton.
I think the Packers have no problem paying guys that they know are going to be the right kind of dude and really good players. That is what they're looking for. Zack Tom is going to be that guy, and he is going to get paid. I think it's going to work itself out. To what degree and how much? Again, if he's asking for Penei Sewell money, I think you're probably going to come up a little short right now. Down the road, that is where he's going to live. And so from the Packers' standpoint, with how they structure things, you're going to get the big bonus, but you're not going to have outside of that, it would make a ton of sense to look at this and say, I want him at this spot for this amount of time, but then you draft a guy like Belton and you put a little uncertainty in it. But Josh's point is you get guys that are playing at a really high level, you pay them. You don't let them walk out the building when they're heading in to be 25, 26. Now, if you let them go at 30 and they steal a couple good years, you can live with that because your philosophy has always been, or for the most part, once you get past 30, 31, with very few exceptions, we want to go younger. It is a painful deal for the old guys, but you also see it coming and you understand it, and that's why when you're in this position, make sure you maximize it. And Zack Tom, I hope he maximizes it just like I hope Elton Jenkins does.
All right, so speaking of maximizing, Keshan Nixon thought he was going to be maximizing his opportunity to be the number one corner. That still could happen. Like, Jaire didn't show up early yesterday. We've talked a lot about him and the possibility of him coming to the mandatory minicamp to put pressure on them, making a decision one way or the other on improving their offer to him so there's more money in it that he doesn't have to earn back from a pay cut. We'll see what happens next week. It'll be next week, Tuesday, will be the first day of the mandatory minicamp. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Will he be there? In the interim, if you remember in January, the day after the loss to the Eagles, in which he fumbled the opening kickoff, recovered it, but replay assist did not help him with that. Keshan Nixon proclaimed that he was over returning kicks. CB1s don't return kicks. Which, again, for those of you that think that we were trying to run Jaire Alexander out of town, one of his best friends on the team was talking about being the number one corner in 2025. So he thought Jaire was definitely gone also. But be that as it may, his head coach and his special teams coordinator were less than thrilled with that proclamation. And for the first time since that, Keshan talked to us, and it sounds like he's had a bit of a change of heart on the idea.
Oh, he has he?
Of returning kicks. Although I don't know if it's so much a change of heart. Go ahead, whisper into the microphone.
No, will this be really quiet too?
It won't, because it's not my question.
Okay.
He was asked if he's changed his stance on returning kicks, and he sure sounds like a guy who had his stance changed for him. Here is Keshan Nixon.
I was kind of frustrated when the season was over, but it's value always, especially when it comes to me being who I am when doing it. So of course I'm open to it. I'm always gonna do what the team needs. And then also like just me knowing who I am as a person. If the game on the line, I'm gonna want the ball anyway. So that's just probably a comment that I probably could have kept to myself for real, but it is what it is. I said it. I meant what I said, but I'm also a team player, and if the coaches and the team need me to do something, I'm gonna do it for sure.
I meant what I said. He heard that in there, and I probably could have kept that comment to myself. No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to speak your mind, especially when I'm there talking to you. So I'm okay with both of those things. But look, and we got into further discussion about, now the touchback coming out to the 35. So does he think that he'll get the ball kicked to him more frequently? He still thinks no. He thinks he'll still be avoided. We'll see about that. But Tausch, he is a weapon when he's given opportunities to return kicks. We've seen a little bit of progress in return games from different teams, finding ways to be productive even with the new kickoff rules. Do you see this as something that's important for him to do for this team?
Yes, that's why he was brought in. And obviously you can evolve and become one of the, if he's DB1, and then you have that conversation like we usually do with wide receivers and punt returns. Are you too valuable to put yourself back there? Mm-hmm. That's what I think Keshan, that's what he was looking at. He wants to be the guy. He doesn't want to just be a return guy that plays corner. He wants to be a corner that maybe is asked to return a kick. And I get that from his point of view. I appreciate the way he answered that question. I think he handled it well. But the bottom line is, with the rule change and now the ball, if you're kicking it out of the back of the end zone, getting it to the 35, I'll be shocked if Green Bay doesn't look at implementing. You're going to have to cover kicks now. That's too big of an advantage. Yep. Another 5 yards. I've told this story numerous times, but I know not everybody listens every day. Mike Ayers, our old analytics guy before analytics was cool, would always talk about how important the kick game was in relationship to where you start to what you get points-wise. And the difference, you'd think, the 20, 25-yard line, not that big a deal. But then you go to the 20 to the 30-yard line. Not that big a deal. The numbers and your chances of success in getting points, it goes up so much. I'm guessing that they looked at it and the 30 to the 35-yard line, and you think, well, it's only 5 yards, and we can eliminate a big kick. That will add up in a big way if that's your strategy all season. Now, if there's a guy, and if it's Keshan or whoever it is, if there's a guy that you just can't, Devin Hester back in the old days, you just live with it.
Right.
But most teams don't have that guy. I thought a couple years ago Keshan became that guy. He was all pro doing it. Last year, I don't recall. Did he have any big boy returns last year? If he did, I don't recall them. I remember the Miami game at Christmas a couple years ago. But this is going to be something that I think Green Bay is going to need to implement more and really shore up their coverage teams. And I think Keshan Nixon is going to get more opportunities. What you do with that really can make as big of a mark as being, if you're DB2, DB3, it's an important piece to what this team is going to need, because I'm guessing the analytics are going to tell you get that ball 35 out, your chances of scoring are up exponentially, and that's what you're trying to get done when you're figuring out your strategies.
He had one 43-yard return last season. That was his best return. So he was definitely neutralized. He only returned 17 other kicks. So he did not get very many opportunities at all last season. So it is interesting to see if maybe that will change this year. All right, we need to play trivia. Then we need to get ready for Uncle Homer, because it's still Wednesday, and while Bulaga's on tomorrow, Homer's on today, and I'm eager to talk to him about a variety of things. But first, we got to play trivia. Riley, did you get the responsibility of questions, or did Jesse take that for you on this Wisconsin Geography Wednesday?
So Jesse said he was coming up with the questions, and I believe, Jason, on the show sheet, it says he will send them to us in a different email. Did you ever receive that email?
No.
Because I did not, so I may have to just whip up 3 questions quick.
So I will do it.
Okay.
In the commercial break.
What a hero. Thank you.
You know
very
what?
much,
You know what? What is with you today?
What do you mean?
You're kind of
I
a
can't
dink
have fun
today.
and some laughs? No, I'm not.
No, you
I
kind
just-
of are.
I'm just calling you out a little bit. That's that's what
Okay.
you do a lot.
So it's Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, presented by Vortex
Rhinelander. Rhinelander.
Don't do this.
The Hodags.
Go Hodags. All right, well, I guess I won't do a Rhinelander question then. Let's take caller...
Holman.
Let me know when you're done. All right. Caller...
Bayfield.
Caller 11.
West Bend.
Caller 11 right now for Wisconsin Geography Wednesday Trivia. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 11 for Wilde and Tausch Wisconsin Geography Wednesday Trivia. We'll begin after Tausch tells us about Coors Light.
Ooh, Coors Light. Can't wait for a little trivia. Can't wait to have a Coors Light or two over the weekend. And whether you're tailgating pregame, enjoying your experience during the game, celebrating a big win after the game, or just need a moment to chill, crack open at Rocky Mountain cold Coors Light. It's brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it is made to chill. It is always in my hand when I need to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Trivia's next. I'll get writing. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Point it.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The biggest games,
Back-to-back state championships. Still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
the most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the executive director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from Mr. Irrelevant, and we are hitting the road. Friday, June 13th, spooky. We're heading to Door County Distillery in Carlsville. If you're spending the weekend in Door County, come check out Door County Distillery and hang out with us from noon until 2. That's Friday, June 13th at Door County Distillery in Carlsville. But even if you're not heading to Door County anytime soon, you can bring Door County to you with their cherry brandy for your old fashions infused with Door County cherries, whiskeys, rums, and plenty more. Check them out, doorcountydistillery.com.
The ESPN Madison Open, presented by Coors Light, is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing up our bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. The ESPN Madison Open, also brought to you by Carbless, Zimbrick Honda, Siding Unlimited, Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, Clear Vision Pro Wash, and Vortex Optics.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
We're on the Badgers.
The schedule, as we all know, it's very challenging, daunting, however you want to describe it.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
He wants guys who want to jump at the opportunity to play against a schedule like that.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hold on, I don't want to know what it's like when you're gone. I don't want to move on. I don't want to know what it's like when you're gone for good. You're slipping through my fingertips. A little bit, by a little bit. I didn't know the love of you was the happiest I've ever been. So I'm just trying to hold on. Hold on, I don't want to know what it's like.
It is time for trivia. Thank you, juror number 8, for not sending us the questions on Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. Before we introduce our contestant, Riley, I assume with Jesse on jury duty, I will continue to be big voice guy.
I would assume. Let me quick hit the hotkey.
Wilde And Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
I guess not.
Somebody fixed it. Thank you for your service. It is time for trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant.
Just wait a second. So something got done with Jesse not being in the studio, and it got done well? Is that what I just learned?
Yes, that's exactly what you just learned.
Wow. Well done, Riley. Hey, nice work.
It was not me, but I clicked the hotkey and it worked, so I don't know. I'm assuming it was Hunter.
Hunter does nice work.
He does.
He's a little bit fixated on Gerald Ford, but we like him anyway. Let's welcome in our contestant. Hey, do you remember the name of the supper club in Randolph that you were so excited to go to?
Yep, I do.
They serve ice cream. What's it called?
You sure they serve ice cream? They do a drink that I think has some
ice cream in it. Right, like a creme de menthe.
Okay, it is Files is the name of that supper club. Files.
Well, we'll see if you're right or wrong because JC in Randolph is our contestant. JC, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And by the way, they have a tremendous Packer memorabilia also in there.
Do they have a number 65 autographed Mark Tauscher jersey? And if not, could we negotiate some sort of large meal for the entire ESPN Madison team in exchange?
Knowing the owner, I think that would probably be possible. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm in.
So I'll say this. We went up there. It has got like an old school. There's a medieval. What is that era?
Medieval
vibe to it. There's like the bigger chairs.
Medieval.
And it's got, we played
like Game of Thrones,
like old school. There's a vibe of that in there. Yes, and then we played euchre in there. It's a great little spot. They got they have some type of German night where they have potato pancakes and schnitzel. Yes, schnitzel. So it is am I correct on that? And they have those great little ice cream drinks at the end of the night. So it's a good little spot.
Absolutely. And in the summertime, the beer garden is open outside, and that's very nice.
Oh, das ist gut. Das ist sehr gut.
All right. Well, congratulations, JC, because
Thank you.
not only do you have your first entry into the drawing by being the 11th caller, but we've gotten plenty of advertising for Files, and I can't wait for them to have Tausch's jersey hanging in the rafters. And ironically enough, with a very abbreviated time to throw together these questions, Wisconsin Geography Trivia focuses on the hometown of one Mark Tauscher, and that, of course, is Auburndale, Wisconsin. Question number 1, JC, is this. As we all know, Mark Tauscher is the pride of Auburndale, Wisconsin. Which county in Wisconsin is Auburndale located in?
I got it. I know it.
Is it A, Crawford County, B, Wood County, or C, Old Boy County?
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
I'm not familiar with Auburn. I'm just going to have to go with hang on. Let's go with Crawford.
What? Can I say this? Had I said birch or pine, would that have been too tippy for our
Tippy
friend?
canoe, yeah. Well, again.
Yeah, there would be Wood County then.
Yeah, and it is. It's okay. We're going to bounce back here, but questions about Tausch aren't always easy. Question number 2 in Mark Tauscher, Wisconsin Geography Wednesday Auburndale Trivia is this. Did you know that Tausch isn't the only professional athlete from Auburndale, Wisconsin?
I knew that.
I did not know that.
I like your chances today, Tausch. Which Major League Baseball pitcher spent 13 seasons in the big leagues and went 95 and 91 with a 4.07 career ERA? Was that pitcher Jordan Zimmerman, Paul Wagner, or Bob Wickman?
I'm going to go with Paul Wagner. I have no clue.
He was on the show a few years ago.
Yeah.
Zimmy. It was Zimmy.
Now, again, all three of those pitchers are Wisconsin natives.
These questions are probably not that fair, if I'm being honest. These are hard
Wood
questions. County? Yes. Wood County.
You talk about Wood County all the time.
I do love Wood County.
I'm not picking on JC here, but I don't think these are over-the-top difficult.
So you're saying JC should know these?
I'm saying, number 1, JC should have known because you talk about Wood County, the Potato Corridor a fairly amount. Okay?
Yep.
And now, again, I'm not criticizing JC, but I listen to you every day. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that I think that one was not a gimme.
All right, I think JC will get this third one. He's going to get this third one.
Jordan Zimmerman's a little bit tougher. Maybe this one should have been question number 2. Maybe this one's easier. We'll see.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Right.
Question 3 is this. Tausch started his NFL career in 2000. According to the 2000 U.S. Census, how many people were living in Auburndale, Wisconsin at the time? Is it 738? 7,380 or 70,038?
I'm going to go 700, the first one.
Yeah!
Yes,
Let's go! Yeah!
A tiny town of 738 people in 2000 anyway, produced the Packers starting right tackle and the co-host and star of Wilde And Tausch. It does my heart good, JC, that we didn't get skunked. So
yes,
I'm happy.
Well done.
You got question 3 right. That means you got 2 of the possible 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We'll see if Jesse has rejoined the show and if he'll be at the AmFam Championship with his cheese fry helmet so he can pick a winner of the Vortex Golf Rangefinders you can bet on. JC, thanks for all the info about Randolph's favorite supper club, and good luck in the drawing.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you.
Tausch, the real question about Auburndale is, has it gotten big enough now that it has its own quick trip, or is it still hoping that someday, with their fingers crossed, they too will have a quick trip?
We're getting there. We're going to keep fighting to compete and get there. But this summer, are you ready to climb to the top? Well, gear up for Quick Trip Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Every sip gets you closer to the summit. From now through August 17th, play each day for free right in the Quick Rewards app. Jason, we did this last year. You would jump in, play the game, and you'd let us know. Score bonus plays with every eligible item you grab, like an ice-cold Pepsi, Bold Mountain Dew, hydrating Gatorade or Propel, and so many more. Pair any of those with hot food and earn 2 bonus plays. And every week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, stacking higher and higher until one player reaches the summit, the top prize of $250K. Get climbing now in the Quick Rewards app. Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase is necessary. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes. But you know that's not the only thing that Quick Trip has. They got white bread for 99 cents a loaf, Kitchen Craving 73% lean ground beef, $2.99 a pound, Simply Potatoes, $1.99 for a 20-ounce bag. Quick Trip, head on down again. They got everything you're looking for. Take advantage of everything Quick Trip has to offer. And now you have a chance to win $250K on the app. Quick Trip, we'll see you next time.
We'll talk to Uncle Homer next. It's Wilde And Tausch.
This is Wilde And Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, with the end of the postseasons for basketball and hockey now in sight, preparations for summer travel are ramping up. And whether that means weekend travel for sports around the state or big vacation plans driving around the country, make sure your vehicle is ready for every challenge by checking in with the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Tune-ups, battery checks, oil changes, and tire rotations are all part of the regular maintenance your vehicle may need to avoid any issues that could be road trip ruiners. A stop to see the service team at Zimbrick Chevy before you go means more focusing on things to see and places to eat, and less worrying about the inner workings of your vehicle. Call or click to schedule a service appointment before your summer road trip with the great team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Check them out online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities, plus membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Madison School and Community Recreation's For Friends golf outing is Wednesday, July 23rd at the Oaks Golf Course. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Since 2003, the Friends of MSCR has raised over $630,000 to fund new programming, equipment, fee assistance, staff development, and more. You can support accessible recreation in Madison through sponsorship or by signing up for a foursome. Head to birdease.com/MSCR for more information and to register. That's BIRDEASE.com/MSCR.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
Sip into a flawless summer. Hey, it's KBN's Brad Nortman. Let carbless, ready-to-drink cocktails be your passport to pool parties, patio hangouts, cookouts, and pure summer bliss. Carbless is here to spark a summer of flavor and fun. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and of course, all the good vibes. From fruity flavors to refreshing fizz, Carbless stands out in a sea of same-old seltzers. See what flavors fit your summer. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and enter to win a flawless summer prize pack today.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
We're on the Badgers.
There are moments where it feels like you're close, but taken holistically, those look like blips.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
To win a championship, you have to consistently be that team.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. You're making love or starting the schoolyard fight. Make sure.
You know what that music means. You hear them every weekday on the best 60 minutes of your day and the shortest radio program in America, the Homer Hour, with a cavalcade of stars. He's the voice of Marquette men's basketball, headed into his 36th season behind the mic for the Golden Eagles. And, of course, he talks about the Lord. God Talk, My Faith with Homer and Pip on YouTube. It is Steve the Homer True. Homer, are you in your Lincoln that you got from a little old lady that only drove it to the grocery store right now as you talk to us?
You're damn right I am, and I want to thank the AmFam tournament because generally I play Wednesday morning, and I couldn't have done this, but I'm playing now Wednesday afternoon, and so I'm able to talk to you as I'm driving to Madison.
Hands free? All that technology?
No.
Oh, good.
I mean, eventually I should work on that, but I haven't done that yet.
So wait, Tausch played in the Pro-Am earlier this week. What are you
I didn't
playing
know they had
in?
one.
Like the geriatric?
I didn't know they had one earlier this week. The Pro-Am for the AmFam is Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, and then I think they do one Thursday also. I didn't even know they had one before Wednesday. But
there's Pro-Ams all over the place.
So you're playing in the over 80 one?
No, I don't know. I mean, I've been really lucky. Last year I played with Ernie Els. And then I said he reminded me of Bonnie Blair, and then somebody I was playing with said, "Did you just tell Ernie Els?" Yeah, I said, yeah, I think they're very similar. And I tried to get them to play together, but I'm not important enough because Ernie won last year, and so I don't know when he's playing there. Maybe Tausch knows. That could be a Tausch's level of Pro-Am. But
so whoever you play with today will win the title on Sunday?
Definitely not. Now,
it's a team competition, Jason. There is no one winner.
Two-man thing. I don't know why they changed that, but I'm playing with a guy I've never heard of.
Homer, you're gonna find out. This course is this is a tough track. This is a tough track now. Better hit it straight. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
All right. Well, I mean, I played many times at Cherokee Country Club, and all I remember there's water all over the place.
Yeah,
I don't know
water.
if that's
It's a marsh.
still the case. Is there?
No, there's still water.
Kawa. I don't. You know who he is? 10-10. I looked him up. He played at UCLA, so we have something in common.
Okay. You'll have a great time. It is. I've played it. The Pro-Ams are super fun. You get some good swag. I was surprised you didn't go down on our buddy's bus. You guys are all driving up separate. That surprises me.
Again, they're playing in the morning. They're playing now, and I don't think they have a bus for the afternoon. I'm a low end. I might get fired and not even play. Kellner said if I've created any difficulties, they'll just replace me. And I said, fine, I'll just go back home. I've had just so many incredible events. I mean, the historic one is when I played with John Daly, and twice he asked me to kill him. And I do want to announce that I didn't, and so he's still playing today. 30 yards in front of me, I'm hitting a 3-wood in a par 5. I said, John, would you please move? And he raised his arms to the side and said, just end my effing life right now. Hit me in the head.
Wow.
John, I'm not going to do that. And he said it a second time. I said, okay, I'm hitting. And he faced me, and I didn't kill him. He's still playing today. So
It's probably a smart move to not do that.
I didn't try, but I mean, I couldn't. What do you mean? I'm not a 16 like you. I'm closer to the truth. Though, tell me what's the. Let's go on to the other stuff. Nobody cares about this. I don't know what the format is.
That's fair. Nobody does. I agree.
Nobody does.
So he never moved, and you hit it anyway.
Hit it, and I fortunately
you
didn't
really
hit
could
it
have killed him.
Yes,
Sure.
yes. If I'd have hit it straight, he was, maybe he knew it would be hot. And that, yeah, he had seen me play, and twice he said it, and I didn't kill him, so I feel good about that.
And win.
There were people
Sounds like
that
everybody
heard
won.
it. John Anderson, when I had told the story yesterday, said, "Well, I'm not sure you'd have won in court. What's how much responsibility you get?"
Yeah.
I said, well, there
Would
were
Jesse
people
be
there
on the
that
jury?
there were people there
That's
that
another
had him
question.
that heard him say it twice, and I think I would have had a pretty good defense. But anyway, it didn't happen. I'm happy for that.
Yeah, it's probably good that it didn't happen. You don't have to go to court. Homer, before we get Packer talk, Brewers, a nice run. Jesse's taking credit because he called for Pat Murphy, the conversation to be had. Your Jackson Chorio stuff, a lot of people telling you to retire over it, but do you feel like you're a little bit vindicated?
No, I like the kid. I'm hoping he solves this. It's the only thing that's going to prevent him from being a star. If I said, and I would never say Murphy. I think Murphy's a great manager. I think their GM is brilliant. I said if the Brewers thought that they should look for another young superstar like him instead of him and make a swap, I would understand it if they had the same concern about not drawing walks, but being historically pathetic at drawing walks. And there's never been a great player ever in the history of baseball with where he's at in terms of drawing walks. Not a question of being so good, but you can only be so bad. And he needs to improve. So we'll see. But I'm happy that everybody's mad at me because at least they're observing it, which was what frustrated me, that nobody had noticed, how horrific he had been. He got a little better than he's bad. And it was a problem last year. He solved it in the last 150 at-bats, and maybe he'll figure it out. But if he doesn't, he will not be a star. So,
and if he figures it out, will you take credit the way Jesse's taking credit for the Brewers' resurgence?
No, I will not. I will take credit only for feeling like John Daly that all the people that want me dead didn't kill me. Because of all the things I've ever said, none has created the negativity. People didn't even want me to be shot. They wanted me to be shot like 3 or 4 times so that I had to suffer before I died. Dying is not good enough. They are requiring suffering. And that's fine. That's Twitter. I don't care.
How do you not care?
That's what I said. It's just words. And I understand that that's
words matter, man. Words matter.
Not on Twitter.
Not as much as actions, though, as we've been.
Right.
It's true.
Well, the words matter to me, but there are a certain percentage of people on Twitter that words don't matter. They're just a reflection of emotion. And, it's disappointed me, the lack of percentage of people that were curious to study it a little bit. And so, but that just taught me more about Twitter.
Well,
then.
Homer, that's where I wanted to take this because we had, and I'm sure on your show, what are you doing now, 15 minutes, or are you still up to an hour?
We're still up an hour. Thanks for asking.
With commercial breaks, it's like 41 minutes.
These are the kind of things, Tausch, you would know if you ever listened. But I know you're a
I
busy
wanted
man.
to confirm.
You got so many kids' events, sporting events, that you got to go to. So
I just wanted to confirm. But, Homer, the Orlovsky and Jordan Love, that conversation, And it's very similar in the fact that you can't really even say, well, he wasn't consistent last season.
Right.
And we asked yesterday, I don't know what our poll ended up being, but which season were you more pleased with Jordan Love? His first season as a starter or last season as a player?
I would take the final, the last half of his 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, but that's not the question. That's not the question.
Well, the overall season, then not last year, the year before.
Right.
Because, as Jason has talked about, when you're a young player, it's how good you look when you look good. No one expects somebody to be consistently great. It's very hard when you're young. But when you're as good as he was it was 8 games or more than 8 games, I mean, that's I don't know that he'll ever have a stretch. I don't know that he'll ever have a stretch that good ever again in his career. But in terms of
I would hope. Whoa. I mean, I would hope that he does.
What? What was Jason? 18 touchdowns and 1 interception. Is that right?
Yeah, and then he threw another couple of touchdowns in Dallas and was almost perfect in that game.
Yes. So for that, what was it, 9 games then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no. What is that? 20 touchdowns and 1 interception. Ain't happening. If it was Aaron Rodgers, he may have done it more than once. If it was Aaron Rodgers, I would still bet against it, but think that he'd have a chance. No, again, this is what amazes me. People don't understand how amazing he was in that half of the season. So he could have thrown.
So then, Homer, I'm not arguing with you on that, and that's
right.
The stats are amazing. Why didn't we did we have any of that last year?
No. But the issue with Orlovsky, I want to explain to people, is very simple. He believes in this stat QBR, which was invented by ESPN. According to QBR, Jordan Love was the 5th best quarterback in the NFL last season. If you believe in QBR, that's the end of the discussion. For anybody to say that anybody who's top 5 in a stat you think is that important had a down year, it'd be almost impossible. But no one who watched him play, I would say, ever thought for the season he was the 5th best quarterback in the league. So now we're debating the stat more than they are his ability. But that explains Orlovsky, and it's that simple, as he said in a follow-up, that Jordan Love was one of their only 2 quarterbacks that have been top 5 2 years in a row or whatever. But you have to, if you don't think that stat's worth much, and I don't, then Orlovsky's wrong.
Yeah, I would just say this: the fact that he said that you're looking at quarterbacks wrong if you if you think he regressed, and then uses a stat look, ESPN's got a lot of really smart people in their analytics department. Not slighting them at all. It's great that you've come up with what you believe to be a more accurate depiction of quarterback success, but I don't think that those numbers change the way we watched him play.
No, that's the hardest thing about the stat is just what Jason. Everybody saw him play. There's not a person alive, not even Orlovsky. If he watched the games, it would say that was the top 5 quarterback in the league. So what I would ask him to do is, what did Jordan Love do? And I would think part of it would be understanding that so many of the passes were dropped. And he can't be held responsible for that. So if they weren't dropped, then what would have been his percentage? But that's the discussion I would have hoped for him, because in the regular quarterback rating, Jordan Love is 12th, and that seems about where he was. But no, this is the debate over these 2 stats has always been huge to me, because nobody's ever really explained or battled the 2 without being involved with ESPN or out. To me, it has nothing to do with ESPN. It's just explaining that stat. But I looked at the game last year, and I've used this, and I said it to Orlovsky, or then who's the other quarterback? Kurt Benkirk or whatever? The guy who
Kurt Benkirk,
Yeah, anyway, that in the game the Packers lost the end of the year to the Vikings, they had Jordan Love, who was 15 of 23 for 170 yards, with a better QBR than Sam Darnold, who was 33 of 43 for almost 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, explain that. however you can come up. So any stat who says in that game Darnold was not as good as Jordan Love, I go, the stat sucks unless you can explain somehow. And that's the problem to me. There are various games like that, and you go, you can't tell me anybody believes that Jordan Love was better than Darnold in that game. But I'm talking about it more than people want, but this is something I've been curious to have someone study for a long time. All
right, Homer. Curiosity. It's interesting curiosity. Homer, before you go, and Jason wraps this up, how many balls are you going to recoup today? It's a Pro-Am. A lot of guys hitting balls. You're going to be sniffing around that marsh and sniffing around. How many balls are you going to collect today?
I think a good day to me would be 10, but I don't want to, embarrass my group or myself if they just, what's wrong with that guy? He never just walks around in the woods.
Well, too late for that.
No, but I think so, but I still think I can get 10. Again, I've never been on this course. There's a ton of water.
The minimum should be 20 today.
Yeah,
you need
good
to
luck
be at
with
20.
that. We have to go. We've got baseball coming up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Brewers baseball. Oh yeah.
We have a hard out at 11:02. So bye, Homer.
Well, let's go.
Bye.
See you, Homer.
Tausch, tell us about AmFam because we still have another segment to go before we switch to Brewers.
Family Insurance, proud partner of Wilde And Tausch for almost 100 years. They've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection, all so you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
More Wilde And Tausch, but not very much. Next.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Mark Toscher here for Pizza Hut. And you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. It was great then, and it's great making new memories with my family now. Between basketball and baseball and hockey, there is a big game on just about every night this time of the year. And Pizza Hut is the perfect addition to your game day viewing experience. Whether it's a night in on your own or you're having the whole crew over to watch it all together, stock up with some original stuffed crust pizza, wings with your favorite flavor sauces, or a bunch of other delicious options that Pizza Hut has to offer. And right now, Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites, complete with 3 bold new dips in the Ranch Lover's Flight. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Shop Steinhoffels and get a free foundation when you buy a Beauty Rest Black or World Class mattress. Queens start at $30 per month with Steinhoffels 60-month financing. Wisconsin BYU squaring off November 21st, a grudge match of last season's adrenaline-filled round of 32 showdown. The face-off happening in Salt Lake City at the Delta Center, home of the Utah Jazz. Greg Gard calling that last meeting, quote, one of the best in the NCAA tournament. 2 games for Bucky on NBA courts next season. They'll face Oklahoma at Fiserv Forum for an October 24th exhibition. 2 great tests for Gard and the Badgers well before Big Ten play. Ticket info and more available at uwbadgers.com.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Memorial Day savings are here at Brothers Maine. Shop unbeatable deals on top brands like GE Appliances, Cafe, Hotpoint, and Monogram. Plus, enjoy expert support and free local delivery. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
It's a home run! But wait, is your roof ready for the big league storms? If your roof has more holes than a catcher's mitt, it's time to bring in the pros. At Avondale Roofing, we've been handling leaks, repairs, and full replacements with major league precision for over 30 years. And as a GAF Master Elite certified contractor, we bring top-tier quality and proven performance to every job. Whether it's a quick patch-up or full upgrade, our team steps up to the plate and knocks it out of the park every time. You're out! Don't wait till water's in your dugout. Call Avondale Roofing today and keep your home in the win column.
When it comes to your health, do you want to buy something online or do you want to meet with someone local? A local doctor with a family-owned business that cares about you. That's right, you want to meet with Nestor Rodriguez and Ashley Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. You have questions about cryotherapy, red light therapy, hormone replacement treatments, GLP-1s, or you just want to have a great workout. Carbon World Health is there for you. They have a new location in Sun Prairie and they have their original location in Madison. So when it comes to your health, there's nowhere better to go than Carbon World Health in Madison and now in Sun Prairie.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Cincinnati Reds.
Fly ball, left center field. This is well struck. Way back there. It is gone.
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
Switch on the sky and the stars glow for you. Go see the world because it's all so brand
All right, so you got to
new.
follow us if you're listening on ESPN Madison to ESPN Milwaukee or YouTube somewhere else because we've got the Brewers coming up. We are the official Brewers station in Madison on 100.5 ESPN Madison. And, of course, one of their great partners is Gruber Offices. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Go to the website, gruber-law.com. Brewers taking on the Cincinnati Reds after their first loss in 9 games last night. Stay tuned in Madison for Brewers-Reds. Stick around. Wilde And Tausch continues elsewhere.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde And Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Listen live and on demand to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today. It was a fantastic run for the Crew, but unfortunately all good things must come to an end as last night their 8-game win streak was snapped by the Cincinnati Reds in a 4-2 loss. Jake Bauers gave one a ride, had a potentially game-tying home run brought back to end the game. But the Brewers can still win the series today with DL Hall back on the bump. First pitch is slated for 11:40 Central with coverage beginning at 11:05 right after this Sports Center here on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. You can listen to the rest of Wilde And Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, or tune into the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Without further ado, it's time for some Brewers baseball. Enjoy, everybody, and go Crew.
Time now for a special ESPN Wisconsin presentation.
Fly ball, right field, out of here!
This is Our Crew.
Picture your name in lights above it. This is your big debut. It's like a dream come true. So won't you smile for the camera? I know they're gonna love it. Beg. I like your picture. I keep it with your letter. Done up in blueprint blue. It sure looks good on you. And when you smile for the camera, I know I love you better. Hey, it will come back to you. Hey, it will come back to you. Then the shadow falls. You see it all.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Some of you haven't had a move at all because you were listening on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, or you were watching on YouTube, or you were streaming, whatever you might have done. But some of you who were listening on 100.5 ESPN Madison or on the Madison audio stream, you had to switch over because we have Brewers Reds coming up in Madison. Say hi to Josh DiMaggio. Oh, and I'm sorry. Wade Bates informs me that we're still on an ESPN Beaver Dam. So never want to slight our team at 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. So thanks, Wade. Hi, Joshy. How are you?
Oh, I'm just so great. Happy to be here. Just left a meeting. Ready to dominate the last hour of Wilde and Tausch. How's that sound?
Just left a meeting. I thought you were supposed to be in there during the show.
Yes, I am in here during the show. I was taking it on my computer while keeping an ear on and firing our breaks and live reads.
So did you leave a meeting if you didn't actually attend it in person and you attended it virtually?
I closed it out on my computer. My attendance will count for the meeting.
Okay. Fair enough. We spent some time talking about Keshan Nixon. Tausch, did you make the switch to the other state? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I
just want to make
didn't
sure.
want to interrupt you. I only like interrupting
Just checking
you
in.
when we're on.
Yeah, no.
Both, Mark. And
Yeah, I know you never interrupt.
Milwaukee, I want to be a little more respectful. So.
Why?
I don't know. It's just something I said.
It's just something I said.
You didn't even really introduce me, so that's why I wanted to make sure I would give you a little time.
I didn't know I needed to reintroduce you at the top of every hour.
Yeah,
do I do that normally?
It's a new setup. Yep, I think. Josh, you don't think a re-intro would have been good there with all these moving parts, or you think I'm just being too sensitive?
Joining us now from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer.
So,
he
Joshy
is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, how you doing today?
Good, buddy. Thanks for the intro. I appreciate it for our 94.5 and our Beaver Dam audience.
We were already
Joshy,
on those stations
I
for the
understand,
first 2 hours.
Okay. Joshy, what was the big what Jen Game and Chewy this morning? What was the big what was your big takeaway from all this? Because I think for me the Zack Tom stuff was most interesting that Jason got, even though he was whispering like a little mutant. What did you guys talk about today?
It was largely the Zack Tom thing, like you talked about, and then we talked about the Kenny Clark thing, and is it an excuse or an explanation? And how that all came
Can it be
down
both?
there. That's sort
Can
of
it be
where
both?
that's sort of where we landed, because the idea is, I mean, Kenny is a longtime veteran, and his production last year was out of character. So having some sort of explanation towards that kind of can soothe the concerns about maybe the Packers re-signing a guy who was past his prime. I do think he has a lot to prove, but it made it go away a little bit. And we did juxtapose it against how come Kenny doesn't get the excuse, or we didn't hear about, well, he's playing injured all year, when Jordan Love, they had those readily available for him.
Yeah, he didn't miss any games, right?
Correct. As far as I know. He was
so
on the injury
the question
report.
I have for us, and especially media folks, but fans too, is would you rather? I like to go back to the old days when I used to take Eleanor into pre-K and we'd sit and play Would You Rather the whole way in. And the question is, Because if he doesn't play, everybody always injury prone. Would you rather have someone gutting it out but not performing to the level that you expect, but they're getting paid? Or would you rather him just say, I can't do it, put somebody else in? Because I would argue most of us would say, I want to see Kenny Clark gut it out, and even though he wasn't as productive, it wasn't like he stunk, but he didn't put up you just never saw it. His test is when he plays the Vikings, he annihilated that center. Bradbury and whoever else is playing. That is where we didn't
Ray
see
Bradbury.
as many Blueberry, as many pushing guys in the backfield and making plays behind the line of scrimmage.
He went from 7.5. He went from 7.5 sacks and 11 TFLs to 1 sack and 4 TFLs. So I think it lends credence to it affecting his performance, even though he didn't miss a game. Your question is a good one. I did want to interject briefly, if I may. This is a big sticking point for Chewy, right, Joshy?
Constantly.
Like, he brought this up with Zack Tom, and he's competing. How come we don't talk about how he played with a torn pec and all the other stuff? But the Jordan Love Defense Fund was covering on the quarterback. Now, again, I understand people have different opinions on what Jordan Love's season was last year. I have the numbers in front of me, including that playoff game against Dallas. So over the final 9 games leading into the San Francisco playoff game, and if we add the first 3 quarters of that game, his numbers are going to be even better. But over those 9 games leading into San Francisco, Jordan Love, I mean, this is, I don't know how you don't look at this and go, man, he was great, and he wasn't anything close to that last season. Watching the film, dropped passes, knee injury, whatever. He completed 70.7% of his passes for 2,422 yards, 21 touchdowns, 1 interception, passer rating of 116.6. I mean, those are Aaron Rodgers style numbers. If you're curious, and I know you are, Aaron Rodgers, when he did the run the table thing, because would we agree that was his best run of his career?
I don't know.
Run the table.
I think that 2020 season was pretty special.
Okay. Well, over the 8 games, well, then it's going to make it a little harder. But over their 8-game winning streak that got them to the NFC Championship game when they had Ladarius Gunter covering Julio Jones and Gooch playing guard. Over those 8 games, Rodgers completed 68.9% of his passes for 2,384 yards, 21 touchdowns, 1 interception, a 117.9 passer rating. So what I'm saying is that was arguably Rodgers' best stretch of football. Jordan Love had a stretch like that. To go back to Homer's point, that's hard to do even for someone as great as Rodgers. I don't know how great Jordan Love will turn out to be, but he was, if you look at that period of time, he played quarterback better than anybody else in the league. No one can look at Jordan Love, QBR be damned, and say he played quarterback better last year than anyone else in the league.
No.
You can't. So why is this, and why can't we just be honest about it instead of, oh, well, this is what Dan Orlovsky said, or this is what, I don't know, Bubby Brister or whoever else might be out there. That's the part I don't get.
Bubby Brister is doing it. How about Bobby Hebert?
No, I don't know if he is. That was just a name that popped into my head randomly. Bobby Hebert.
Richard Todd.
Jeff Hostetler.
Mark Malone. They're a pretty good analyst, Mark Malone. Thought he did a nice job. So, The Jordan Love stuff, I really feel like we have just delved on top of delved on top of delved.
We don't have to keep going. I just wanted to get those numbers for people who were curious.
Yeah, and it's interesting, but I do want to understand from a fan standpoint, what's better? Kenny Clark not performing to the level we hope, or Kenny Clark just saying, you know what, my foot ain't right, I'm going to go get surgery and I'm done for the year? What do we want?
Of course, we want to say that we want them to play. But it's the debate of excuse versus explanation that Jen, Gabe, and Chewy had today, right? Because you say it yourself. If you're out there, you're going to be judged. Whether that's right or wrong. And Jordan Love was out there, and he's judged. Now, again, you can say that one of the reasons he didn't play at that level is because of the injuries he was dealing with. And you can say that about Zack Tom. And you can say that about Kenny Clark. Are you accepting of that? My question is, what about the people who matter? Like, who gives a damn about what we think or what the fans think? How does Goody, how does LaFleur look at those guys? Because to have Adam Stenavich proclaim that Zack Tom is competing for his job would indicate that they didn't give him a whole lot of grace for playing with a weakened left side because he tore his pec.
I'll tell you
But in
this.
Kenny Clark's case, maybe it's different. I don't know.
I'll tell you this. I think coaches, and you've seen this now with David Bakhtiari, Jaire Alexander, coaches, if you can play and you can gut through it, they want you out there. And if you can't, they just want to know with some clarity where you're at. What you can't have is somebody that's out there and not performing and not giving you at least the baseline production you need in order to win as a football team. So there's always that, if I'm out there, I'm not helping the team. That should be that line of delineation. Was there a point last year? Now, you have a whole new D-line coach. Was there a point last year that, and it is a lot trickier when you're dealing with a veteran player that you have a lot of respect for, that has played a lot of football for you. So you can't just leave it up to the player. The player, in most cases, will try and find a way to get out there, unless they know in their heart of hearts they're not going to do the team any good. In Kenny's case, my guess is he had not had to deal with everybody's had injuries, but anything that was, and you get older, and he is, remember, he's only, what is he, 28, 29, whatever? He played when
He's
he was
29.
16.
He will turn 30 on October 4th.
So he has played a lot of ball, and he is going to, the tread is starting to wear. We all know that you only got so much in you. And I think for Kenny, I think this is probably a rude awakening to when you're 24 or 23, you can probably, okay, I can do it, and you got a little extra stuff. Now other stuff starts acting up. And I guess the question is, would the Packers have been better off letting Kenny, if that injury was bothering to that degree, playing some of these other guys, getting a Lucas Van Ness in there, maybe a little bit more on pass rush situations? Because Kenny Clark, throughout his career, once he got rolling, year 2, 3, 4, etc., he's a dog, man. Hey, he was. I always go back to, and I already mentioned Bradbury, but I just remember like that Minnesota could not block.
Blueberry.
They just couldn't. It was
they could
fun
not.
to
You're
watch. Right. And then last year, you didn't see that. And again, they have different players and a different scheme, so you take it for what it's worth. But you didn't see any of that last year. Like, if there was, it was very sporadic. It wasn't Kenny. And then you ask, is Kenny doing the team right by going out there gutting it out? I want my players to want to gut it out. But I also want my coaches and everybody to understand I can only give you so much. So maybe platoon a little bit more, maybe rotate a little bit more, still get out there, but understanding that he is going to continue to go try and play even when he maybe shouldn't. I think, didn't he go down with Jake Glazer down to like Aruba or Mexico or somewhere to get some kind of, wasn't there a story about that? That might be a nice little fun story for you to write at Channel 3000, what he did and how that's going to help rejuvenate him for next season.
So, just for what it's worth, I do think they played him less because of his injury. He played 63% of the defensive snaps last year, even though he didn't miss a game. That was the lowest percentage of snaps he's played since his rookie year. He had never been below 70% since he became a full-time starter in his second year. And he was at 63% last year. So they did play him less.
They understood that, and I think when you ask that question to kind of put a bow on this conversation, the coaches want guys that will fight through and play through stuff.
No doubt.
But they still have to perform. Even if it's not up to the same standard, you have to perform. And I think in most of these cases, it's can you perform better than the guy that we would put in for you? And I don't know the answer. If Kenny Clark wasn't able to perform to his level, I know TJ Slayton played a bunch. Was there nobody else, especially in pass rush situations, because that has been the story that that was the big storyline all off season, was that's got to improve. Well, Kenny Clark was one of your better pass rushers, and he brought that from the interior push.
Yeah.
Interior push helps the outside rush guys because you can't just wash guys by. You have to. And so all of this goes in the kind of the cycle of how you get to have a good pass rush. And when you have a link that is broke or not as healthy as needed, you're not going to get that same collaborative effort to get quarterbacks on the ground. And I think, unfortunately, with Kenny's injury, that was part of the equation.
Keshan Nixon did mention the Jaire Alexander situation. Now, that is also another subject that we have extensively talked about and analyzed. But I do want you to hear what he said, because I just want to get your interpretation on what you think is coming next. So we will play what Keshan had to say next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open is back at the Bog. Tune in all day on July 15th for our ESPN Milwaukee crew having fun and hitting the links. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open is sponsored by Carbless, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, Fifth Third Bank, Cider Heating, Plumbing and Electrical, Gruber Law Offices, Welke's Milwaukee Florist, and Jet Out. Join in on the fun July 15th on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99. Feeds 5 to 8 people and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Rivals meet again when the Brewers battle the Cardinals June 12th through the 15th. Come for a duel between the Contreras brothers on the diamond and stay for one of the best weekends of summer. It's Tropical Day, Saturday, June 14th, featuring a Brewers straw hat with special tickets. Then take Dad to the Father's Day game for a Barrelman Cooler giveaway on June 15th. It doesn't get any better than this. Get in on the action at Brewers.com.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit MapleHillGolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. A big focus in America today is your health. And you can't be fully healthy if you are not physically mobile to do the things you want to do. If you're someone that keeps on experiencing that joint pain, then you need to visit QC Kinetics. When I go to QC Kinetics' Greenfield location, I am amazed at everything that they have to give you your life back and finally fix that pain that you're experiencing. Everything they do is top of the line. From the free consultation where you can get an ultrasound of your joints and see what is nagging you in real time, to the effective and long-lasting treatments of PRP and stem cells that they offer to give you long-lasting pain relief. Be one of the tens of thousands of other patients who now have a pain-free life because of the treatments they received at QC Kinetics. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Enjoy the Bud Pavilion's free concert series Wednesday night live at State Fair Park. Gates open this Wednesday night at 6. Live music starts at 7 with the Cheap Shots. Enjoy summer fun this Wednesday at the Bud Pavilion free concert series Wednesday night live.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee. You're listening to Wilde And Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Wilde And Tausch back with you on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, YouTube channels. And from his undisclosed location, he's the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
Oh, you're a beauty. You know that? You know you're a beauty.
That was funny. That was funny.
That was good. That was pretty good.
So we talked to Keshan Nixon yesterday. Of course, we had to ask about Jaire Alexander. I do think it's important to point out that in Matt Steinman's report on The Athletic that the possibility was floated that Jaire was going to show up even before the mandatory minicamp. We've been over this ground a lot about the idea of why he would come in and kind of force a decision. He was not there yesterday. And so we asked Keshan Nixon about him, and here is what Keshan had to say.
I don't really know about that. I love 2-3 to death. That's my boy. If he come back and he's here, we'd love to have him. I'd love to play with Jaire. That's just what it is since I've been here. Jaire pushed me to be really who I am because it's always like friendly competition between me and him. And whatever happens, happens. We don't have control over that. If he's here, we're going to rock out. If he's not, we're still going to rock out. So that's just how it go.
Whatever happens, happens. Last week, Xavier McKinney said essentially the same thing. He's got to do what's best for him. I'm going to support him no matter what. Are there any breadcrumbs here, Hansel, of this, or is it just the continued?
No. There's breadcrumbs all over the place.
And
Jaire wants
what
to
are they
come
telling
back,
you?
And the money's just not where it needs to be for Jaire, and I'm sure he's talked it over with. Now, again, those options as we get closer to training camp, you know, Jaire, if he is really unhappy and it's not going to work, he needs to report and force Green Bay to cut him.
Yeah.
That's how this will have to play out. So I think there was that optimism level. Jaire, as I've said earlier, I mean, I think the Packers hold all the cards in this case. You know, the only thing Jaire can do is force their hand, but I don't think Jaire wants to get cut. If he wanted to get cut, he'd be released. I think he wants to come back in Green Bay. I think he wants it to be closer to his terms than theirs. Well, unless I'm misreading this, my guess is that you heard him talking, you heard Jordan, you've heard a lot of his teammates talk well about Jaire. I think Jaire is a well-liked guy in that locker room. And I think they all believe if he's healthy, he can play. And I think the Packers are great with that, but it has to be minimal to no risk for them. They've seen this movie before, and they've seen it only 50% of the time. They have not been able to watch the endings. And that's what they're going to guard against. So when you hear Keshan or X talking about this, it's pretty obvious to me that you got to do what he's got to do. And what that means to me is they're lowballing him and not giving him much, if anything, as far as guarantees of money. Everything will have to be earned. And Jaire's just got to look at it and say, is there anything better? Is there any options better? And you know that if you come here, you're going to get opportunities to play and play a lot, whether it's DB1, DB2, whatever it is. But his teammates are telling you the numbers aren't where they need to be, at least not as we sit here today.
All right, I don't know.
Did you not see it the same way?
I do. What I don't know, and what I'm very curious to see, is what happens next week. Like, is there some sort of, do they cut him before he gets there? Because if there is not, if the contract's not in place by Monday, and the first practice of the mandatory minicamp is Tuesday, will we have a decision? Or can they still string this out even further? Like, and who wants it strung out? I know I don't. One way or another, I would... Huh?
You don't want it strung out?
I don't. No, I either want him in or out. And I would think that he would want that, and I would think the Packers would want that. I mean, it's June.
This is not like maybe a quarterback that is trying to get chemistry with receivers and understanding a new offense in a new city. Like, none of that is in play here. So this is business. That's all this is. And business typically needs deadlines to spur some action. There is a deadline if Jaire comes into camp, and it's a mandatory minicamp. Now, again, they can work it out and say, so why don't you steer clear? We won't fine you. But, yeah, Jaire, if Jaire wants a resolution, show up. There'll be a resolution. We're either not going to give you what you want, we're going to cut you, or we'll work it out. Because the Packers will not have Jaire Alexander out at Clark Hinkle next week with a $16 million base salary looming. That is not going to happen. What will happen is Green Bay will either say, all right, slow down, we'll do this, and we'll figure it out. I think that's where this thing is shaken out, and I don't mind it. I don't think it's as big a deal as you do. Is it a little added drama? Since when do you not like drama? You love drama.
It's not, no. It's not the drama. It's not the, like, I feel like, and please tell me if I'm wrong, but in Jaire's situation, I would think you would want to know what the hell your career is going to look like moving forward. And does he have any measure of confidence that the Packers will be willing to move on their number? Like, what in the Goody, Russ Ball era has indicated to you that when they want to lowball someone that they're going to come up from that number significantly? Like, I would guess, right, and I would guess that they have said, look, this is what we're going to do. Here's our offer. Maybe Matt reported the offer because it was presented as a take it or leave it. Maybe. Again, I don't know. And Matt hasn't told me.
If you had Jaire's number, that would help.
Yeah, I'm
You could
aware.
reach out.
Yeah, it's a sore subject.
The question, I guess, what I don't understand is your market at this point. It's not as if you're going to get cut and somebody's going to be offering you $12 million in guarantees, and you're going to. Now, maybe he feels that way, or he feels like he should, or a lot of times at this point, and you saw it with Jordy, you kind of get it, and then you don't really want to go anywhere, but at some point you just figure, I have to do this just for me.
Yeah.
And this is what's right. And Jordy, but that happened in March. March and June
Also
might as well
true.
be 6 years apart when it comes to the NFL calendar. A lot of budgeting and money is already spent. So Jaire will be playing on a lot of incentives regardless of where he plays this year.
Mm-hmm.
The scenario with the fact that he likes Jeff Hafley and Matt LaFleur, I think, and him get along fine. It really, and you've said this from the jump, this comes back to, does Goody really want it back? And you can say all the right things. He wasn't even saying the right things if you wanted him back when you were listening to him in February and March.
Correct.
He was very upfront about, well, I don't know, whatever. If it happens, great. If not, no big deal. Which is not typically something where there's urgency about getting him back. Now maybe the cards have fallen and you can look at it and say, you know what? Yeah, we'll take a shot at the end. We're not going all in, but if somebody does a min bet and I can catch a flush card or a gut shot straight card, it's worth the risk. But I'm not paying half pot or 3/4 pot in order to try and draw something that's maybe at 15 or 20% to win. That, to me, is where this situation is at.
Well, maybe we won't reach our end game thumbs up or thumbs down on Tuesday. Maybe we won't.
We want him. So for us, we want him reporting.
I want him back. Yep, I want him reporting.
It's a reporting thing. The Packers the Packers don't want him to report until there's something done.
Yes, correct.
Right?
They do not want to have to figure out a way to tell him, well, we'll let you come to practice, but we're not going to put you, like, you tell me, Mr. NFLPA, how can they limit
have a Gatorade,
him?
sit back, take a beat, kind of watch what's going on?
Instead of sitting with Lois, you're sitting with Flea. So what can they do to allow him back for the mandatory minicamp without risking him pop? I saw the Steelers tight end just popped his Achilles, which is different than popping a pec, and now he's done for the year. That's what their fear is. Then they're on the hook for $16 million. So you tell me, Mr. NFLPA rep, what can they do with him that they are in accordance with the CBA and allow him onto the roster or into the building? But do they? Well, we're going to limit you in the weight room because we don't know what your workouts have been. So you're just going to do calisthenics, and at practice we don't want you going through individual drills, but you can do some work on the side. Like, do they have anything that they can do?
I mean, realistically, you walk in that building, and anything that you do, and I'm telling you this, I heard this from a horse's mouth when I knew I was going to be released. You drop a weight on your foot, that's legitimately something that could happen, and you get set back. And now, again, it all times up with what the rehab time is and whatnot and everything else from a proration standpoint. But the organization is going to be very cautious. I'm talking caution on top of caution as far as anything, because if something does happen on site, they're on the hook. And I know the G&G. They ain't going to want to be on the hook for $16 million for a guy, especially if he can't play. That I know.
No, definitely not.
Yep.
All right, we need to get to Whoa Nelly. Yep. We need to get to Whoa Joshi, the version of Whoa Nelly that we like to play. I do want to remind you that there's all kinds of great episodes of Behind the Bucks available now on the Bucks Plus audio network, whether it's the Dame story, Bucks and Six and the Brandon Jennings story, Going for Gold, there's the Bucks stories of playing in the Olympics, or behind the scenes of the Giannis documentary. It's all there for you on the Bucks Plus audio network, where you can find Behind the Bucks presented by Gallagher on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Whoa, Joshi is next. It's Wilde And Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
The big gig is back, starting June 19th. 9 days, hundreds of musical acts. Summerfest in Milwaukee is the event of the summer. Plus, tune into 94.5 ESPN all 3 weekends for Summerfest Saturday. Enter for your chance to win tickets to the ESPN Wisconsin app or visit summerfest.com. We'll see you out there.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 9-ounce selected varieties essential everyday potato chips, 2 for $4. 3-count selected varieties Marushan ramen noodles, 4 for $1. 64-ounce selected varieties Sunny Delight, 2 for $3. 12.8 to 18.8 ounce selected varieties Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches, $5.49.
Let's get some strawberries.
Attention shoppers.
Safe. Okay. Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on 2 wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from Mr. Irrelevant, and we are hitting the road. Friday, June 13th, spooky. We're heading to Door County Distillery in Carlsville. If you're spending the weekend in Door County, come check out Door County Distillery and hang out with us from noon until 2. That's Friday, June 13th at Door County Distillery in Carlsville. But even if you're not heading to Door County anytime soon, you can bring Door County to you with their cherry brandy for your old fashions infused with Door County cherries, whiskeys, rums, and plenty more. Check them out, doorcountydistillery.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
This is Wilde And Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
So this, Joshy, this Brewers-Reds game, even earlier than the other getaway games. That's why we transitioned to you at 11 instead of 11:30, right?
That is correct. I believe it's like an 11:40 start. I think it might have just started.
Okay. So we have not always put you in position to succeed, where we switch over to Milwaukee and then immediately make you the centerpiece of the first segment on ESPN Milwaukee only and ESPN Beaver Dam, Wade Bates. Now you've had a little bit of time to warm up, but we didn't really give you a whole lot of airtime there. Are you ready for some Wojashi?
I'd like to say I'm born ready, but yes, I'm ready.
All right. Then bring it on.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde And Tausch.
All right, this one just came across my desk here within the past hour from our great friends, 620 WTMJ. The Milwaukee County will be replacing the annual July 3rd fireworks with a drone show. I believe in 2024, the fireworks were canceled due to lack of sponsorship. So now in reaction, they will be doing what they describe as 3 waves of drones lasting 14 minutes each over McKinley Beach. Viewers can expect images of the most iconic landmarks and other patriotic local themes around Milwaukee. Quoting, "The drone show is an exciting and environmentally conscious way to celebrate our community. Unlike traditional fireworks, drone shows reduce noise and air pollution while delivering an unforgettable experience." I've never viewed myself as a fireworks guy, but I'm anti-drone show replacing the fireworks, especially for the 4th of July. What are your guys' thoughts?
Agree.
Tausch?
No, I agree. The drone shows, I think, I don't know how, is there, because part of the deal, and I know dog lovers hate fireworks shows. I get
we
that.
do.
But there's something about the smell. There's something about the fact you got to be on alert. You got to be ready for a whipping thing around.
Getting cinders dropped on you if too close.
You got to be alert. But I just love
something about it.
And I don't need to see 150 fireworks shows, but the 4th of July, you want to see it. You want to feel it. And drone shows aren't going to give you that. So it's better than nothing. I think, unfortunately, this is going to be the new way forward. But no, give me fireworks. Give me liberty. Give me the 4th of July. Give me the smells and the shrapnel that come with it.
Have you seen a drone show? Like they did one for the draft. I did not see it. I was busy writing and working, so I didn't get to see the production. Have either of you ever actually seen in person one of these drone shows in the sky?
Yeah, I watched the one at the draft. It was almost sort of over the Tundra Trio, so it was very close to us. It was, not knowing it was going to happen was kind of neat for a little bit. But then it's just a long, drawn-out thing of shapes changing, which are obviously like a computer program that's sort of like automated to do it. So, like, it was cool to see Vince Lombardi in drone form, but I ran out of interest very fast. Like, all right, well, that was neat. And then it was like, okay, I mean, it's a football. There's the Lombardi trophy. Like, it's definitely not the same pomp and circumstance, and they're going to try and convince us that it is. Like, we could hear it, and it was, like, disconcerting. It was like a low hum, like a hee of them, like, moving around as they were doing it. It was like, oh, like if you were driving by on the highway, you'd be like, oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. And you'd be like, I got my dose. That's all I needed.
Josh, that may be between Jay Gruden and Tausch's Irish Gaelic pirate. Your drone imitation may be the best voice we've had in a very long time. Certainly better than my Terry Bradshaw. I've never seen one. I am intrigued by it. So there's like hundreds of drones that are in the sky for this?
Yeah, I believe they gave the amount. I don't have the article up. I just kind of summarized there. Yes, it's hundreds of them that do make shapes and kind of move around. And, I don't know how to define it either. Something about like a computer program versus like the explosions and the uniqueness of fireworks kind of really takes away from the whole thing.
Fair. Whoa, Josh.
Whoa, Nelly.
This is an interesting one here. Japan has introduced new rules to put outlandish baby names to bed. The change is designed to halt the use of, quote, shiny or glittery names that have proliferated among parents. They have specifically criticized parents for using names like Pikachu, Nike, Diamond, Winnie the Pooh, Kitty, Prince, and strangely, Devil, which is a strange name to name your child. But what are your thoughts on
Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah. Thoughts on glittery names or people who? Because let's be honest, you've seen some names, and I'm sure both you young kids,
Ruth.
You see some young kid's name, and you go, those people are doing too much with that name. What are they doing there?
7.
Apple. Here's what I'm going to say. We have seen, and it's pretty much universal now around the world, birth rates declining at a rapid level. Japan, I know, is at the top of that list. I know the U.S. has dipped a bunch, too. I am not interested in policing people's names. I think we need to continue to try and find ways to up the birthing of society. So I am totally against this, Joshy. Totally against it.
Would you prefer?
I love how Josh, I'm going to tell you this, man. I love doing Whoa Joshy because we just went a whole show, almost all Packer, and I don't know if I'm getting AI. I don't know if I'm getting robotics. I don't know if I'm getting Gerald Ford. I get great book reviews from you. You bring a different vibe that I like.
I appreciate that. I try and get a little out there, a little interesting. I think there's plenty of interest here. The one thing is, and there's studies on this, that children with more unique names oftentimes suffer in the long run due to like job hiring and the way they're thought amongst their peers, which adds an interesting wrinkle aside from the birth rates thing. Like,
can we agree that we need to pick it up when it comes to birth rates? Can we all agree on that?
Not necessarily, no.
Oh, boy.
Would you prefer they all be populated by Elon Musk and his harem of people like he's doing, or is that maybe eugenics and he's kind of doing something gross there? Because that seems to be
I'm
where
trying
you're
to say,
from.
like, Joshy, and I'm not trying to get into eugenics. I don't even know what that means. But what I am asking is if you're whoa, Joshy, you're probably right.
Whoa, Nelly.
It's probably glad it's the end of the show. Yeah, you know what? Let me rephrase this. Come on back, Jesse. Get back here quick, brother. Wow.
We will wrap things up. Why didn't you just go? We need to get back to solid, great American names like Mark and Jason and Ruth.
We've had
That's
that
where we should have gone
already.
We did. Yeah. We'll wrap things up with more talk about eugenics. It's Wilde And Tausch.
This is Wilde And Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Your chance to spend an afternoon on the links with ESPN Milwaukee is just a tap away. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open happens July 15th at the Ball Golf Course, and we're inviting a lucky ESPN Milwaukee fan and 3 guests. Hang out with your favorite ESPN Milwaukee hosts, play around at one of Wisconsin's most popular courses, and enjoy food and drinks throughout the day. Open up the contest tab in the ESPN Wisconsin app and register for your chance to win this fan foursome with ESPN Milwaukee.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point.
with Harry Douglas.
When it came to adjustments and just trusting players through and through, Tibbs didn't do it fully like we all felt like he should have done. Because when you're going against an opponent that can play 9 or 10 guys and you're only playing a handful of guys, at some point, the guys that you count on the most, they're going to wear down. There's this thing called wear and tear. And you can be as young as possible, but at some point, the body is going to feel the wear and tear from constantly playing more minutes. Their starting group played more minutes in the regular season and the playoffs combined than anybody in the NBA. Now, when you look at the front office of the New York Knicks, you say to yourself, can we win an NBA championship with Tibbs as our head coach? And like I stated yesterday, my answer was no. And from what just transpired, and Tibbs now being fired as the head coach for the New York Knicks, the front office for that organization felt the same way.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Gabe Neitzel from On the Tee here. There's watching the Brewers, and then there's watching while golfing at X-Golf inside American Family Field. Group options are endless. Book a sim bundle with at least 4 people for $70 per person, or go big with the Sim Double Play, a minimum of 22 people for $50 per person. Both include a game ticket, premium high-tech simulators with a view, and seating for everyone right next to Bernie's Slide. Book your game day at X-Golf inside American Family Field. Open to all fans in the ballpark each Brewer game.
You're listening to Wilde And Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Unfortunately, we have run out of time, so we cannot continue our discussion.
Shucks.
We'll also talk about the benefits of ketamine tomorrow as well. That's it for us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me,